All right, check this out. I got this shape right here. I went ahead and made a quick shape, and then I set up a keyframe for it to start out here, to end up over here, right? And then this keyframe has the exact same values as this keyframe. And even if I jump my playhead from here and I click over here, you can see it has not moved at all. It is a keyframe with the exact same values and the exact same spots. And you even see these little handles here. These little balls that look like keyframes. Those are not keyframes. This right here is your path, and those are each one frame. So those little dots are frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, frame 4, frame 5, as in coming across the timeline. See, check it out. Those little dots represent dot, 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 dot. So those are the position of each frame. That's what those little dots are. So you see I can pull this down, this handle down, and now instead of it traveling straight, here, let's look at before. It travels across like this. Then if we click on it, we drag this handle down. Now it travels across like this. See what I'm saying? On top of that, furthermore, what you can get is some pretty funky results when you have your keyframe set up like this. And those results can be, remember how I said this value and this value are identical? You see the object's not moving? Watch as I play through. And there's only 4 keyframes here. Keyframe starting point, sit over here. Next keyframe leaves here, goes back to its position, right? But look what happens. So you see that? You see how between these 2 keyframes, even though they have identical values, we get this little dancing ball? It's kind of moving around there. That is because the time interpolation, I selected all these keyframes, I right clicked, I hit keyframe interpolation. The default for After Effects when you install it, spatial interpolation, continuous Bezier. And that can cause problems. So when I select these, keyframe interpolation, and change it to linear, now that problem doesn't exist anymore. Right? So you think to yourself, well, if that's the default for After Effects, does that mean every single time I go to start keyframing things and I start getting weird wiggly movement, I'm going to have to select all my keyframes, come over here, right click, go to keyframe interpolation, and change the spatial interpolation from its default of continuous Bezier to linear to get them to travel in the right order? Not really, because here's what you can do if you so prefer. Come up to Edit, go to Preferences, go to General. You're going to see a little box to check here. And it says Default Spatial Interpolation to Linear. Click on that. Okay. Once that's done, now every single time you create a keyframe, click. These will all by default always be linear, which means you're never going to get that weird thing. Even if you start moving the keyframes around, it's not going to cause any of that curvy weirdness to start happening. And if you ever want to, get creative and you make the choice and you now know where that is at, in case you were to say, you know what, I do want it to be continuous Bezier. And now I get those little handles. And now I want to come over and I want to select this. And I want it to go curve down on its way over. And then I want it to go curve up on its way back. Right? And now it'll move across like this. All right. Well, that's it. Hope that helped out. Ta-ta.